Hello guys. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Based on a fan demand on a video I made that talks about how to submit and validate a contact form without page refresh using Laravel, Ajax, and Jquery, I have decided to create this video to teach you how to develop a user profile page that update user information with profile image upload without page refresh, using Laravel, Ajax, Bootstrap and Jquery. I would like to say this before I continue. This video isn't meant for absolute beginners in any of the tools I mentioned, so for you to fully understand the content of this video, you ought to know the basics of the tools I mentioned. Again, before I continue, I would like to ask for one favor. Please, if you find this video valuable and informative, don't forget to like, subscribe and share to your friends. Thanks. Now, let's create something. For this tutorial, we are going to create a fresh Laravel project, so let's open the terminal and create a new project using Composer. Next, let's move inside our project folder and start the project. Then open the project in a browser. On this video, we're going to use Laravel default authentication, which quickly scaffold all of the routes and views we need for authentication using a few simple commands. Let's quickly run the commands on our terminal. After scaffolding the Laravel authentication, let's log into phpMyAdmin and create a new database for our project. The registration and login page which was scaffolded by the Laravel authentication doesn't look good. Let's run npm install in order to use the Laravel mix, which was shipped with Laravel to enable us compile our JS and CSS file in a minified form. Next, is to run npm run watch to build and compile our JS and CSS files. After the compilation, the pages will now look good. Let's close the Watch tab on our terminal as we don't need for this tutorial. Let's now open our project on our code editor. We are going to add few more columns to the user table, so let's open the user migration file and add these columns: phone, address and profile image. We're going to make them nullable as they will be null when a new user is created, which will be updated later on. Let's navigate to the user model to add the new columns to fillable fields. Next, let's add our database credentials to the Laravel environment file. We're going to create a new user in order to update the profile. Sorry, we forgot to run the migration. Let's quickly open up the terminal and run migration. After running the migration, let's resubmit the form to create a new user. We're going to remove the default markup on the home blade file and replace it with the markup we will use for this tutorial. This markup has a form with fields we need to update the user profile. On the form, we have the profile image with image preview placeholder, name, email which is disabled and cannot be updated, the user address and phone number, with the submit button which we will use to submit the form. Let's pull the user details and display it on the input fields. Let's create a JS file we will use to submit the form. After creating the file, we will add it to our home blade. Let's navigate to the route and add a new route that will handle our Ajax request. Let's add the route name to our form action attribute. For this tutorial we're going to use the home controller to handle user update request, so we will create another method inside the home controller and name it update profile. Now, let's work on the image preview. We're going to create an event to watch when a new image is selected to preview the image before submitting. Next, we're going to create an event to watch for form submission, and also prevent the whole page from reloading. After we have confirmed that the page won't reload on form submission, we will now get the form data which will be submitted for update. Let's prepare Ajax for sending the data. The method is going to be post. The URL will be the value of the form action attribute. The data will be the form data. Content type, process data, and cache will all be set to false. Let's first console the response we will get from the server. We got an error while send the request. We used get method on the route instead of post method. Let's quickly correct that and try again. We got another error. The CSRF token wasn't passed through the header while sending the request. Let's quickly add the CSRF token. Without passing the CSRF token, you won't be able to send the request. We're getting the CSRF token from the meta tag on the head tag of your HTML file. So, you have to make sure you have the meta tag that contains the CSRF token on the head tag of your HTML file, before using it in the Ajax setup like this. Everything is now working fine. Let's head back to the home controller. First, we're going to validate the input fields using the Laravel validator class, and send back the errors to the user if there is any. After getting the error from the controller, let's console it and see how it looks like. Sorry, a variable was misspelled. Let's quickly correct it and continue. It works now. After validation, we're sending the data back in JSON format with a code, which we will use to check the status of the request. If the response code is 400, we're displaying an error message to the user, then display a success message when the code is 200. When the submit button is clicked, we're going to disable the submit button and enable it after receiving a response. The submit button text will also be changed after form submission, and return back to its state after a response has been received. Let's head back to the home controller. Next, we're going to check if the request has a file. If it has a file, we will save the image in our specified public directory, and assign the path which it was saved to a variable. If you notice, I didn't include profile image in the first validation I did. Well, it was on purpose. I wanted a situation where the user will be able to update other fields, if the profile image has already been set. This means, I'm going to validate the profile image, when the user profile image is null. I'm going to check if the profile image the user want to change is in the directory. If it is found in the directory, I will delete it and replace it with the new image that the user selected. After the whole validation, we will now update the records with the new user inputs, and return a success message to the user with a status code of 200. On updating the user profile image, we will use the double question mark to make the profile image variable optional. In case if a new profile image wasn't selected, it will be replaced with the already existing image. Sorry, we encountered a logical error that makes our app update the records when some fields are not filled. This occurred because we used the same variable name for image validation and other fields validation. To correct the error, we have to change the variable name of the image validation to something unique. Now everything is working fine. Let's now replace the profile image placeholder with the real image uploaded by the user. To do this, we have to check if the user have already uploaded an image. If the user haven't uploaded any image, we will replace it with the image placeholder. If profile image exists, we will display the uploaded image. We forgot to create a symlink for the storage folder in the public folder. To do this, let's open our terminal and run the storage link command. We have come to the end of this video. Thanks for watching till this end. Please, if you find this video valuable and informative, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to your friends.